Hello, Tommy here. I wanted to introduce you to this video. I'm kind of restarting it. I've already filmed once making this, and I'm going to try it again. This one worked out okay. I got a little key system to lock the top of the box on, and you have to be able to cut that little puzzle piece there, and let that slide in. Get it lined up, and then you put that in there, and that keeps that from sliding off. I've seen several of these boxes made in some other videos. Saw one guy do it live with no pattern, a little bit different from this one. This was a Steve Good pattern, so I thought I'd try it. I've tried it before. Now this is the most success I've had with it. My issue is I have trouble getting this cut right here. Most of the time what happens, I can't get it to make that turn in material this thick, although I was using even thicker than this before. And if I did, it would burn really bad. So as I've studied it and worked on it, I've learned a little more about how to do it. The real key to this is to cut very, very slowly. You got to be able to keep it in that turn and keep it tracking the same on the bottom. Now this one didn't track the same on the bottom, as this side turned out a little smaller than this side. So it'll only slide in one way, which works. This is made out of poplar. Gotta get it right. This is made out of poplar. As you can see, that one's slightly larger on the bottom, or smaller on the bottom than is the top. This was basswood. The ones I've done before were like 2 inches, 2 1/4 inches, and I just never could get those to cut right. Now this one is 1 3/4 inches. I managed to cut it, but I'm going to see if I can do it better with this one. So get it over the scroll saw, and the procedure is to cut the bottom off first, cut the key, and then cut this. Then you have to redraw your lines on the top and cut the center of the box out. This is the piece that came out of the center of this box. So I'm going to get this over the scroll saw and give it a try. I got a number 5 blade in. I'm going to go with that and try to cut this. You could cut that with a bandsaw if you got a good enough bandsaw, but I'm going to stick with a scroll saw on this and cut that as straight as I can. Well, I like the way that cut. It cut it fairly straight. It's pretty even all the way around. The box that's left is still solid. The problem is if you get any kind of a unevenness there, it doesn't want to sit smooth when you're trying to cut here. But this one turned out really well. I'm real pleased with that at this point. So now we're going to cut this key out. Again, I put me a temporary 0 tolerance deal with some tape to keep this piece from falling through, because that's what it's going to do, fall right down at the throat of the saw. So let me finish that. That worked really well. Slides all the way through in either direction, so it tracked properly top and bottom, which is what my problem has been. Of course, this is a softer wood, but I still believe the real key to it is cutting very, very slowly. And I've got the saw moving at its slowest speed. So we'll pull this off, and then we'll get back to cutting. Now this one is the critical cut. This is the one that gives me the most trouble. We'll see how I can do with this one. Okay, so that one worked really well. Took me 10 minutes or so to cut that in real time, but it cut in such a way that I can slide it in from either side. It cut it even up and down. That was my goal, and that's the issue I've been having problems with. So the key to that is cutting really slowly and allow the blade to stay straight up and down, and keeping the sawdust cleaned out as you go. So let me get this over to the table. I got to mark the walls on this and then cut the center of it out. So I am pleased with the way this turned out. Needs a little sanding and finishing, but it works perfectly. It will slide in either direction. It'll slide in or out from either direction, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted everything to be symmetrical. And put this in either end up or down, and it works. The only concern about this little box is it's out of a very light wood. Be easy to break. And the other thing I did wrong, as you can see, I got this at the front. It should be at the back, because that gives you a little room between your key and this part here. I wasn't able to cut far enough in. I could have, but it makes a weak point right there at that in the box, whereas you'd be better off if you're able to come out with a point right there and make it a little stronger. But this was still kind of a prototype, just to see if I could cut those straight in a lighter wood, and I can. I believe now I could go back to this wood and do it again. I've learned a little better on how to cut that. I knew to cut it slow, I just didn't cut it slow enough. So the thing is, it has to be incredibly slow to keep the bottom of the blade parallel with the top of the blade, keep the sawdust cleaned out of the kerf. That's what I've learned on this. And I got some other boxes I'm going to make and learn how to make, maybe along with you. So if you like that idea, well, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button on this one, and I'll move on to the next one. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.